Good evening, everyone. This is Josh Steiner, and it is almost 10 o'clock, and I'm here to give a very special update on this developing weather system. Um, as you can see right here, I'm looking at the United States surface pressure map right now, and you can see the storm kind of developing down in the south. You have this very, very large area of heavy convection. There was some severe weather earlier, lots of hail and wind reports, and I believe one tornado report, but I can't remember. Either way, we have some rather peculiar developments ongoing down in the southeast right now. I'd like to point first and foremost to the enormous dry slot that's occurring just to the northwest or the northern periphery of the low pressure system. There is very little precipitation occurring right there, and this was something I do not believe was indicated by the short range models. Now, I may be wrong on this, but from what I can remember from the latest NAM runs, there is supposed to be a very large band of precipitation extending from Georgia all the way back into Arkansas. However, it seems as if the dry slot from the upper level low has sort of broken apart the two pieces of the two main bands of precipitation. So you see right here the upper level disturbance is where the red and green colors are. It's sort of propagating east northeastward, and it's kind of causing this precipitation to break out behind the main area of convection. This area of convection right here has kind of cut off the moisture flow, which is why it's kind of meager right now. Although the Storm Prediction Center has put out a winter mesoscale discussion because of the possibility of mixing wintry precipitation in this area. Uh, as you can see, some of the temperatures are getting into the upper 30s in this region, and you have 850s dropping below zero, which will probably cause wet snow to form, assuming it doesn't melt. Anyways, so we have this main area of convection that's really, really concerning to me at this point. Um, it's a lot more widespread than I was expecting, and as I had talked about earlier, the models were depicting more widespread convection than what you would normally find with the mid-latitude cyclone. Now, um, and we and the models were actually right on this. There was a lot of surface-based instability down in the Gulf, and it sort of came up in Louisiana just a few hours ago, and storms just rapidly exploded into this environment. And you still have some higher Cape values coming into southeastern Louisiana and parts of the Florida Panhandle, but it's mainly retreated back south. Um, so that is actually a bit concerning as to the development of the low pressure system, because what it's doing is lowering pressures in the southern periphery of the storm, causing it. Right now, the low pressure system is located over southern Mississippi, which is a bit farther south than I was expecting at this time. But as you can see, the forecast RAP, the short range RAP has the low pressure system at sub 10,008 millibars at this point, or 10,008 millibars at this point, when in reality it's just at 1010 millibars. So the system is sort of weaker than what was expected by the super short range models. And according to the RAP forecast, it's still supposed to head east northeastward into western Alabama at a 1004 millibar low. Oh, that's strange. Well, anyways, by let me see, by about 06Z tonight, there should be a very, very organized low pressure system right along the border of Mississippi and Alabama. Now, currently, according to this analysis, the low should be moving in a very northeasterly direction. The highest pressure falls are occurring actually in a very strange location to the northwest of the storm in that dry slot I was referring to. Um, Now, what that actually means, I'm assuming it means that there's an area of divergence aloft, and yeah, there is, uh, from this jet streak that's over Indiana and Ohio. The Actually, let me go back to the national sector. So we have sort of one jet streak right down here in the base of the trough, and another one has developed in response to mid-level frontogenesis in interaction with the northern stream up here in Canada. So we sort of have this very strong wind shear from 500 millibars to 300 millibars, and usually when there's strong wind shear between two different pressure levels, you're going to see much stronger upward vertical motion due to divergence. There's some formula out there that I can't remember, but it was in a discussion I was watching on the Matar Comet with the Matar website. No, not the Matar, the MedEd program. Sorry. So, anyways, we kind of have this precipitation moving northward, and it looks like, however, as I said before, that the system as a whole may be taking a more southerly route than I was expecting. However, there might be still some surprises with this system, given that it's sort of the upper level system is a bit more amplified than we were previously expecting. You see, we have this more neutral to negatively tilted trough right here down at the Gulf, and it's starting to lift east northeastward. Now, as that lifts northeastward, this ridge right here should become more and more pronounced. And it's sort of the reason why this system is becoming cut off from the main flow, which happens to be up here. So then looking at the moisture characteristics of this system, very moist air coming out from the Gulf of Mexico. Not particularly record-breaking, but definitely enough moisture to bring widespread precipitation. Now later on, this system will tap into this moisture down here by the Bahamas, which is much, much deeper, and as it flows up northward, it should produce quite a bit of heavy precipitation in the main storm region. So now that we have that, let's go and look at the latest model trends. Now the 0Z NAM just came out with a very interesting forecast, to say the least. First of all, as you can see, it's already off the mark on precipitation placement. You see that, I mean, we already saw on radar that there's no precipitation in this region. It's sort of dried out in that area, probably because of some sort of subsidence. But it's pretty dead on in this area of precipitation. It's sort of underrepresenting the precipitation down near the Gulf Coast. Now, 6 hours from now, you have a much more widespread development of precipitation as it moves east northeastward, and so I don't think any of this is snow. It's still too warm down in this region. Let's check the thermal charts. Yeah, see, none of that precipitation is snow. Some of it might be ice, especially in the Carolina, especially in North Carolina over here, and maybe a bit of snow on the back end. But so far, it hasn't cooled enough within 6 hours to actually have snow develop. Now we go 12 hours from now at 12Z tomorrow morning, about 7 a.m., and you sort of get more dynamic cooling on the north and west side of the storm, and you still have the main low located over northwestern Mississippi, northeastern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, south central Tennessee, and we have this kind of a precipitation band developing right here. So we have some some snow on this northern edge. You can kind of see where the rain snow line is. It's right at this gradient. So at this point it's, well, let me check that again. So we have some of the heavier rain coming into the colder temperatures, and so you have heavy wet snow falling in Tennessee, in very far northern Tennessee and southern Kentucky, and then you have more moderate snow and lighter snow but higher ratio snow across the up to the Ohio River. And that's tomorrow morning. By that time, it's also entering into Virginia and North Carolina, where it looks as if they'll see a major icing event. So as you can see, surface temperatures are still below freezing in these areas, but despite the fact that 850 millibar temperatures are right above freezing. So we have super cool rain droplets falling into a surface that's way below freezing, and you obviously have a very, very bad icing situation in those areas. Now the storm continues on, and by early tomorrow afternoon, we sort of have this very elongated band of precipitation to the north. Now this area looks like it's all snow. Everything from this Virginia, West Virginia, all the way back into Mississippi as the cold air wraps in around the storm. The only area that's really, this is the warm sector where all this convection is occurring right now, or not right now, but at this forecast hour. Then we move on to hour 30, which is early Saturday morning, and you have this very, very heavy snow moving into Pennsylvania. Previously, models had been way south of this, but the NAM has trended north tonight, and it appears as if the short-range models have a better handle on this situation. So then we have snow extending from New York City all the way back into the Ohio Valley to Cincinnati to Kentucky and other areas. So let me show you the 850 millibar temperatures again. So we have this large area of dynamic cooling because of the strength of the storm system. And so it kind of helps with the warmer surface temperatures and low-level temperatures. Fortunately, this allows snow ratios to increase as the storm strengthens, especially over West Virginia and where the lingering snow bands are. There's a few straggling snow showers across the Piedmont, across southeastern Ohio. You have lighter snow, moderate snow, and then heavy snow still ongoing across southeast Pennsylvania into New York City. And this run actually has heavier snow moving into Connecticut and southeastern New York, which is a trend we haven't seen probably in a day or two now, ever since the model started trending south. That was at 7 a.m. Saturday morning. Now we get to Saturday afternoon. We get even heavier banding developing across northern New England, or southern New England, and you sort of have this dynamic cooling continuing again, which increases the snowfall rates. Yeah, I mean the snow ratios. Sorry. So yeah, we have this elongated deformation zone basically, and we're not exactly sure if models are handling this correctly because of this huge area of convection back to the east. So then we move into hour 54, and you can see heavy snow is still continuing across southern New England. The band kind of wraps back into New York City, Philadelphia, southern New Jersey. And then by mid-morning on Sunday, the snow completely moves out of the northeast. It's all the way out to the Atlantic, with a few exceptions like Cape Cod. It's still snowing. And so that's basically the gist of this storm. I'm getting close to my 15-minute limit, so I can't say much more. However, we have a very interesting situation in our hands, and we'll keep monitoring model trends as the night goes on, and especially the surface analysis and how the storm is developing.